How's it going, everybody? It's Warren, and welcome back to my channel, The Cosmic Wonder, where we talk about all things Marvel and everything relating to the MCU. And in today's video, we have a very interesting topic: the Hulk's return to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We knew that it was inevitable. We knew that Mark Ruffalo wanted to return. We know that he's been confirmed to be appearing in the She-Hulk series coming to Disney+. But how exactly is he going to be returning, and which version of the Hulk are we going to be seeing when he finally does make that return to the MCU? Now, there's been talks ever since Avengers Endgame that we could ultimately see the Hulk become a villain, something that has happened a few times in the comics. And in this video, I'll be breaking down a recent report / rumor and talk about how we could be getting the most powerful version of the Hulk in the MCU, and how we could even see the Avengers go up against the Hulk sometime in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I'll break down everything that you need to know about this new Hulk report in this video. But first, if you're new, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest MCU news, and so you can enter this week's giveaway for a chance to win a Mysterio Funko Pop. Just subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment down below to enter. Now, surprisingly, a lot of people don't actually have that big of a problem with the Hulk becoming a potential villain in the MCU. And this mainly comes from his story arc in Avengers Endgame. A lot of fans weren't too excited or happy with how he really ended what we now know as the Infinity Saga with Smart Hulk. We didn't see the Hulk really at all in Avengers Infinity War, and the Smart Hulk that we got in Endgame didn't Hulk out at all. And that's what everybody really loves about the Hulk smashing. And for those of you who truly missed that in Avengers Endgame, we have some pretty cool news to talk about today, as it is being reported that we could be getting the Immortal Hulk in the MCU at some point. Now, the Immortal Hulk is very different than all of the other versions of the Hulk. It's a fairly recent Hulk, and in fact, some of the recent issues that have come out in Marvel Comics have been pretty horrifying. Immortal Hulk can actually only come out at nighttime, and this is kind of odd because in some instances, Bruce Banner will die during the day and the Hulk won't save him until nighttime. So in some cases, Bruce Banner has died and has been dead for several hours before nighttime comes and the Immortal Hulk comes out. The Immortal Hulk is quite possibly the strongest Hulk there is. He's also very articulate and smart, and he's also very vengeful and aggressive. The Immortal Hulk tracks down people who have done wrong, and instead of just finding them and smashing them like the normal Hulk would, he finds them and actually has a conversation with them. He tells them what they did and why he's about to pound their faces in, literally, and he even listens to what they have to say before he smashes. And the Immortal Hulk is a lot stronger than the Incredible Hulk. Once he hit Thor so hard that it knocked a tooth out, gave him a concussion, and caused him to need serious medical attention after the fight. He once hit She-Hulk so hard that she flew 2 miles away, and he completely destroyed the Hulkbuster armor. These are all things that the regular Incredible Hulk could not do. And to top it all off, he has faster regenerative powers. Once the Immortal Hulk had a giant hole blown right through the middle of his chest. This was pretty shocking considering the fact that it seemed impossible up to this point to even wound the Hulk, let alone blow a giant hole into him. But it was even more shocking when the hole immediately closed up and healed itself. So this is a very different Hulk than what we're used to dealing with. He's smarter and faster. And according to a new report from the Roger Wardell account, the Immortal Hulk could be coming. In a recent tweet, he said that the Hulk's next iteration is going to be based on both Doc Green and Immortal Hulk storylines. Now, many of you know Roger Wardell was the person who leaked a bunch of stuff about Avengers Endgame, all of which ended up becoming true. He was seemingly locked out of his first account for spreading all of the leaks, and now he has a new one, which is this one. Now, Doc Green Hulk from the comics comes after Merged Hulk, which we basically saw in Avengers Endgame as Professor Hulk. What happens is Bruce Banner ends up getting shot in the head multiple times, and in order to save him, Tony Stark exposes him to the Extremis virus, something that we've actually already seen in Iron Man 3. But the Extremis virus causes the Hulk to become even smarter, and what ends up happening is we actually get kind of the opposite effect of what we saw in Avengers Endgame Smart Hulk. You see, Smart Hulk was Bruce Banner in control of the Hulk's body, but Doc Green Hulk is the Hulk in charge of his own body with intellect smarter and higher than Bruce Banner. Now, Doc Green Hulk and the Immortal Hulk are supposedly both stronger than the Incredible Hulk, and they're both smarter. So again, what we essentially have here is going to be an opposite of the smart Hulk. It's going to be the Hulk controlling his own body, but he's extremely smart. Now, this is a pretty good move by Marvel if this truly is happening, because again, a lot of people weren't really that happy with Professor Hulk. And the Immortal Hulk and Doc Green Hulk are very different, but kind of give us exactly what we want, a smart Hulk who actually smashes. But there is a catch to Doc Green Hulk. Doc Green is neither Bruce Banner nor the Hulk, and he actually asks people not to call him either of those names. He's an entire person differently together. And he comes up with a plan to hunt down and cure all gamma-based mutations. That includes She-Hulk, Red Hulk, and any other Hulk variations that are not Bruce Banner. But he ends up having dreams that he becomes Maestro Hulk. So he decides to not give himself the Extremis anymore so he can avoid becoming Maestro Hulk. However, ultimately the Maestro Hulk would get sent back in time and would fight the Hulk. But that story may be a little bit different from the MCU. Maestro Hulk could be debated as the strongest Hulk there ever was. He has Bruce Banner's intellect, but he has increased gamma radiation, which makes him incredibly strong. And Maestro Hulk in the future would rule the entire world. And Maestro Hulk, if he came to the MCU, would end up being the villain. And this could be a form of the Immortal Hulk and Maestro Hulk. The Immortal Hulk gets so strong that in the comics, the Avengers go after him, and they end up fighting. And this seems to be a version of the Hulk that we're going to be getting in the MCU according to this leak. A Doc Green Immortal Hulk. So essentially we have a Immortal Hulk that could potentially turn into Maestro Hulk, which is bad news, which means the Avengers are going to have to step in. And not only are they going to have to fight the Hulk, they're going to have to fight the strongest version of the Hulk that they've ever seen in the MCU. Now, it seems very apparent now that Marvel's master plan for the next 10 years is to lead up to Secret Wars Battleworld. And Maestro Hulk has a connection to Battleworld. In the Battleworld event, God Emperor Doom would ultimately end up ruling, and Maestro Hulk would attempt to kill him. So this could be an incredible story arc for the Hulk in the MCU, completely different than what we've seen in the past. We can see the Hulk turn from somebody who's kind of a merged Hulk, Professor Hulk, transform into essentially a brilliant, brutal Hulk, and then eventually into an evil version of the Hulk that would ultimately end up turning good again. This would be an incredible story arc that I think a lot of fans would like to see, and it would be really awesome if Marvel Studios is truly planning on introducing a variation of the storyline, one that they make up, and base off of Doc Green, the Immortal Hulk, and Maestro Hulk in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I think this would definitely make up for some of the fans' disappointment of Professor Hulk in Avengers Endgame. Yes, he did snap and bring all of the people who were snapped back to life, but again, fans were pretty disappointed that we never saw him Hulk out. So of course this is not confirmed, it's just a rumor for now, but if Marvel Studios is truly planning on this, what do you think about it? Would you like to see this iteration of Hulk in the MCU where he becomes even more powerful, even more smarter, ultimately becomes the villain, but then at the end tries and helps everybody by defeating God Emperor Doom? Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest MCU news. For live updates, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.